Hello, it's great to have all of you back in the studio with us today in the series entitled Karma, Destiny and Choice. We will be looking at changing the course of your life. This may be an issue for many of you. Where do I go to from here? Do I make a career change? Do I remove certain people from my life and add others? Do I leave the country, or do I make simple changes, but one that will have an effect on my life? To answer this question, or shall I say these questions, I have in the studio with me Sister Denise from the Brahma Kumaris. Welcome back. Hello.
Hello, thank you, Magela.
So, changing the course of your life. The first thing that comes to mind is something that you shared in one of our earlier episodes, that when it comes to the law of karma, there's nowhere to run and there's nowhere to hide.
This is true.
So when one wants to change one's life, what are the karmic consequences?
You can look at karma as a trajectory, and the thing a person has to realize is that it's very rare that they do something new. We're creatures of habit. So the trajectory of karma is the track down which our habits lead us. And every time you do anything, you have a tendency to do it again, because you lay a track, like a groove. You know, in the countryside where somebody drives along a particular way, gradually the grooves of the wheels get deeper and deeper. So karma is about repeatedly doing the same old thing, and you get stuck in a rut. So there's an expression: if you keep on doing what you've always done, you'll continue to get what you've always got. And that's exactly what it means. So if you don't like where you're going, or you don't like what you're getting, then you have to change your karma.
Gosh, how? How on earth does one do that?
Well, your karma is your thoughts, your words, your actions, how you interpret things, the kind of people that you are around or that you bring into your life, your priorities. All of these things add up to your karma. So if you want to change the course of your life, you have to change all these things. And below all of that comes your consciousness. So the primary change, if you want to change your life, is to change your consciousness. And in Raj Yoga, as we describe it and practice it in the Brahma Kumaris, we talk about soul consciousness and body consciousness, which is another way of saying materialism or spirituality. So if you want to change from being materialistic, stuck in your addictions, etc., and you want something different, then you need to really develop your identity as a spiritual being. That means you have to stop thinking of yourself according to your gender.
Hold on. G-E-N-D-E-R, not A-G-E-N-D-A.
Gender,
okay.
Whether you're male or female.
Okay.
Because you see, materialism starts with that. I'm a woman or I'm a man. But a soul is genderless. You have to stop thinking of yourself according to your race.
Yes, that is a big one for many souls. All of these things are part and parcel of people's identity, is it not?
Totally. And you have to stop thinking of yourself according to your religion.
Why? Is religion not a good thing?
No, religion is a very good thing, but it's also a limitation, because there are other religions. When you say, I'm a woman, then half the planet is other.
Oh, okay, so you're creating a split.
Yes, you're creating boundaries that are counterproductive. So then it becomes us and them. if you are according to your race, there's, I don't know, 4 or 5 or 6 races, so then you're 1/6 of the planet and 5/6 of the planet is other. You know, it creates a kind of xenophobia. It creates prejudices. It means that you judge people on the basis of being other than you. But if you're raceless, colorless, religionless, classless, then you bring yourself to what does it mean to be a human being. And that brings you close to your spirituality, because you are a human being, a human soul, and you are in a costume with all sorts of variables. And there are many differences in the costumes. Your body goes from young to old, from fat to thin or thin to fat, whatever color. And people look at you as a body. That means they look at you as an object. You look at them as objects, but you're not an object. So this is a false consciousness. And what you really are is a subject, not an object. You're a being. And you're invisible.
It's interesting to hear you say that, because if you ask anyone, are you someone or something, they will immediately say, I'm someone. Why are you asking me this question? But when you describe body consciousness, when someone fully identifies with their body, they become something.
They do. And sometimes you can ask somebody, what are you? And they'll tell you what their profession is.
Yeah, it's like anything except the truth.
Because in the culture, like for a child, you say to that child, what do you want to become? And the child will never say, that's a ridiculous question, I already am. So when you ask a child that question, you're immediately telling that child that they are nothing.
Sure. One doesn't see it that way. One thinks that that you help to develop a sense of ambition in the child, not take something away, put something into.
There's so many things in our system of ethics, morality and culture which are absolutely counterproductive to the intention by which they came into existence, and they have not been thoroughly thought through. So this description of a being really causes some shockwaves, because how do you think of yourself as invisible? Okay, a soul, the description of a soul is a point of light. So if you want to find a point of light in the world, the best example would be a star in the sky at night. And people actually rather like the idea of being a star. And there is this idea, you know, of whole universe being in a star, and that corresponds with your inner life, because inside that star is a whole universe of your personality and attributes and so on. So it's actually quite good to really think of yourself as something like a star, and that you are pure consciousness, and that you express yourself through this physical vehicle, which is indeed an object. An object means a material thing which has a beginning, a continuation and an end, and that's a body. But a being doesn't have a beginning and it doesn't have an end. So when you think of yourself as a soul, there has never been any time when you as an individual being didn't exist. And there will be no time that you will cease to exist. You know, when you start thinking of these ideas, it changes everything. And you have to really reconsider your outlook on life. So these ideas about identifying yourself with the soul causes you to rethink and this makes you change your consciousness, change your priorities, change how you look at things, change how you receive information. It really turns your whole world upside down, and you will need to give some time to this, because your worldview has been developed over the course of your life, many decades, and all of a sudden whatever you developed because of this information, it's like, no, that's not what it is. So you have to rethink everything from zero, which you will probably do very quickly for a little while, and then it'll slow down, and you'll slowly start refining and deepening your sense of self. And this is going to cause you to change your thoughts, your words, your actions, and that will change the course of your life.
We're so inclined to changing the physical aspects of our lives. We cannot wait to upgrade our cell phones. Some people have even known to upgrade their spouses. And we can't wait to get the newest and the best. Yet, there isn't that much attention to the inner workings. Our obsession with changing the external all the time means what?
Well, it means that we are very much influenced by the outside, and we can actually use that influence to our advantage once we understand what that is. And we can choose to surround ourselves with external things that point us to the internal direction. Anyway, you're in the external world physically, so like here we're surrounding ourselves in this peaceful garden. Why? Because it resonates with something about the inner world. If we would put ourselves in a jazz bar or something, we would find ourselves in different vibrations which are at odds with the soul. And one of the things about the television and videos and so on is that they get edited in such a way as to be out of sync with the brainwaves, because that way they can control you. But when you choose things that are in sync with the subtle aspects of your body and your mind and so on, then you're encouraging yourself to be in a loop that loops back to the inner world all the time. So you can use it to your advantage.
You've alluded to this before, but I think it's relevant in today's chat, that wherever you go, you take your karma with you. Why is it that so few people who even know that refuse to accept it? I'm speaking of individuals who have done things like move to another country for a better quality of life, and there met horrific end.
This is because people assume that all the things that are happening to us are coming from the outside, and they're not thinking that I am responsible for whatever is happening to me on the outside, because I have planted the seeds for which that is the fruit.
That is mega, what you just said, like huge. So if one lives in one of the most violent countries in the world, it does not mean that you will become a victim of violence. All that means is that you will get what's karmically due to you, which could very well be a wonderful life.
Absolutely.
So there's no link between karma and location?
I think there is a link, but it's not what people think.
What do people think, and what do you think?
People think that they are what they are because of the environment, because psychology has told them that. I have been all over the world, and I have seen that everywhere there are people You know, there are some places where the traffic jams are worse than other places. There are some places that are wealthier than other places, but overall, people are people. There are external factors which influence you, but what you do with them is a much greater influence than the external factors themselves. So you can be in any environment. To a large degree, the environment is neutral. The environment has people in it and things in it that are part of your karmic return, definitely, but they are not the cause. They are more like symptoms.
Sure. That is a deep secret. A very deep secret, a very well-kept secret.
But it's because people have believed this, and great experts have described it. But what we're now doing is challenging some of those beliefs, and also we want to encourage people to think that I do carry my karma with me. It doesn't matter where I go. Even you might be propelled to another country because you have karma there. That is also true. Okay, so coming back to this bomb that you just dropped, that what happens to me has got more to do with my karma than the country I'm in, the town I'm in, the situation I'm in, the relationship I'm in. It's what I'm invoking karmically that has to play out. Yes, absolutely. Because you have karma with people, places and objects. Objects in the sense of matter. Definitely the world is one in which people are moving around a great deal. Airports boast of millions of passengers coming through every day, every month, every week, whatever it is. I don't know how many airplanes there are in the air at any time, or trains running around, but definitely it's hardly ever that you can find an empty road. Somebody's going somewhere. There's a lot of people on the planet at the moment, and there's a lot of karmic accounts, and this is the period of time of settlement. So we have to keep going all over the place, and we're pulled and pushed by these energies of karma that says you have a bill here, you have a bill there, you have some account here, something is in the positive, somebody owes you something, you go collect it, you owe somebody something over here, go settle it. And so we are being pushed around. Our life is getting very high speed, and it's partly to do with this settlement of karma.
Wow, haven't recovered from that yet. One has to be very smart, doesn't one, to navigate through the waters of life, given that you're in an ocean filled with sharks.
Yes, I think what we need to do is give very high priority to pay attention. What am I doing? Why am I doing it? Where is it leading me? But we have a tendency to spend more attention to what is the other person doing it, why are they doing it, and how much am I being bothered by it. So we need to turn within so that we keep ourselves protected from all these influences that will influence us if we direct our attention towards them. We may not have any karmic account, but if we get distracted by someone or something, what they're doing, we start an account. Don't do that.
Don't start an account.
You got so many accounts, you don't need any more.
Yeah, the problem is that a lot of us create fresh accounts unwittingly.
This is why we're talking about this, because nobody knows that you're in situations where you could start a new account. This is the time to finish accounts, outstanding debts. So finish them, reconnect with yourself, occupy the mind, live in your mind well. Bring God into your life more. because this is a very beneficial influence, a tremendous treasure store of information. You be the one who leads your life rather than letting other people distract you and pull you away from yourself. These are ways to, change the direction of your life.
I'm thinking now of individuals who make plans and put into effect plans to change the quality of their life for the better, to ameliorate their circumstances. But then they literally jump out of the proverbial frying pan into the fire and everything blows up in their face. How and why does that happen, even though the individual concerned had the intention to do the opposite?
This is because of a concept called Maya. A Maya, you could say, or illusion or delusion. You are pulled by something, but you don't realize that it's a karmic account. You think it's a nice idea. You think it's your own idea. There's nothing to do with any influences, that you just came up with it all by yourself. But you're deceiving yourself. You're pulled by an account that needs to be settled, and so you're going into that. So I think what we're trying to do in this program is to make people aware that the inspirations that get them to make a change is not just an inspiration to make a change, but it's an outstanding karmic account that's come due and it's pulled you there. That's why you go from the frying pan to the fire.
Is karma a magnet?
That's exactly what it is, a magnet.
A big one?
No, the thing to know is that your connection with God is another magnet that neutralizes the magnetic force of karma.
That is so beautiful. That is, so few people know that. Well, you have to say that again and talk slow.
No, karma is definitely a magnet. It has power over you. But you make your connection with God and it sets up an energy which is exactly like a magnet, which pulls you away from this gravitational pull of karma. So you need that.
Oof, Sister Denise, that is a tsunami of wisdom. I feel humbled right now. That was so exquisite and so beautiful. It's just that we need to implement all of this. I take it that nothing that you shared in this series or any of the other series that we've done is a theory, is it?
Well, no, everything is a theory that has been investigated in practical situations, because you have to get your information through study. That's theory. But then you don't really know if it's true until you check it out.
And by checking it out, you mean implementing it?
You apply it, you experiment with it. You want to know, is this really true? Because you can't accept something until you check it. And you have to find out directly, is this really true? Otherwise, it's just a nice idea, but you don't know. I mean, how do I know that I'm not afraid of death until I have a near-death encounter?
Yeah, I think we should stop talking now, because I have literally gobsmacked. The stuff that you shared is so intense that I want to crawl up to a couch and just, I don't know, lie there and stare into space with some coffee for half an hour to digest it. It is so big and so powerful and so unknown. So few people in the world know this.
This is why we say that meditation is based on information. Because information is so different, what we study, that you need to sit down and think about it for a few weeks, to let it sink in, to look at all the implications of it. And it really, shifts your mind around, shifts your consciousness. And that's what this is about.
I felt as if I've run the 4-minute mile, as it were. And it has been a beautiful half an hour for me. Many blessings. So I hope that today's chat has set off some tsunami of realizations in your life as well. I know it has for me. And the purpose of this series is for you to take maximum benefit so that you could improve the quality of your life. And if you are thinking of changing your life, please listen to this episode again so that you could really think about and perhaps implement what Sister Denise has to share. Thank you so much for joining us. Take care and goodbye.